Okay, we are live.
All right, thank you. All right, folks, the special call meeting for today, August 3rd, 6 p.m. Madam Clerk.
Councilmember Jimmy Clanton,
Here.
Councilmember Rob Turner,
Here.
Councilmember Jasmine Cobble,
Here.
Councilmember George Turner,
Here.
Councilmember Tammy Grimes.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, thank you, Madam Clerk. Attorney Denmark, what's your pleasure?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. I sent an email to Mayor and Council within the last hour and a half with a letter from the attorney for Metro Green renewing and supplementing the threat of litigation against the city. Based on that, it is my recommendation that we discuss the matters that bring us here this evening in executive session. I understand that this is a matter of great interest to the public, but it is not my recommendation that we discuss our legal strategy in the open. Our adversaries are listening. This is precisely why we have executive session under the Open Meetings Act. We've been threatened with litigation. We're trying to discuss and forge a path forward. And it is my recommendation that we do that in executive session and then announce our plan and direction in open session.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move that we go to executive session for discussion of legal matters. We can come back after and discuss whatever else we need to discuss. But for legal matters, I do move that we go directly into executive session.
Second.
Properly moved and properly second. District 1?
I've got a question.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
We didn't advertise for an executive session. So Attorney Denmark, how do we do that with parliamentary procedure? Maybe we lost him.
I was going to mention that under the Open Meetings Act, we have to advertise our agenda to say executive session if we're going to have an executive session in a special called meeting. What is on the agenda, either y'all can decide to have another special called meeting and we can advertise it and discuss litigation, but Anna Maria Hazard is on here as well. Guess we could defer to her.
Ms. Hazard.
Hi, so what's on the, I'm sorry, I just got the link for this a couple hours ago, but what's on the agenda does not say executive session at all. It just says Metro Green.
No, it says to discuss concerns and findings of the investigative committee for Metro Green and to discuss the immediate actions that can be made.
Give me a second.
And can we not do exactly that without discussing what Winston mentioned as our legal tactics? If discussing the results of the committee or status update on where the committee is, laying out kind of facts and details, is that actually getting into the mechanics and litigation tactics, or can we not have that discussion?
Well, I think Winston's concern is that discussing the findings and the mechanics might be something that will flesh out some possible legal tactics or information that certain information, or like if you ask a question, perhaps the answer to that question is related to the litigation. And so it could be, you'd be kind of walking a tightrope in terms of what you all would like to talk about and versus the threat of litigation, because the threat of litigation is really related to the matter as a whole at this point. And so even simple things as our understanding of the facts could be.
Excuse me, Attorney Hazard. I know for a fact that
I guess the investigative committee was supposed to present before the council information concerning our findings in reference to Metro Green. I'm trying to find out, is that some type of legal problem with that, or are we talking about some kind of legal?
So going into executive session, I mean, you all have to make the motion and approve the motion to go into executive session to discuss litigation. It's not a legal requirement. It's just advised, because if you discuss things that will be subject to litigation later, you're exposing yourselves. And so if you choose to discuss these things outside of executive session, I'm under the impression that that's your prerogative to do so. However, and I do not know what Attorney Denmark plans on saying, but it sounds like his recommendation was that it's discussed under executive session. However, that's you all can make that decision. And frankly, because he's not on this call right now, I was not part of the investigative unit, so I would not be able to discuss anything because I do not know what was discussed in the committee or what Attorney Denmark has uncovered.
Well,
Can you address the open meetings? The fact that we don't have executive session on the agenda, though.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at the act right now to make sure.
And while you look for that, I would just chime in and say that council has the letter from Metro Green. We all have a copy of that letter, and council also, I believe, have a copy or will be getting a copy of the findings from the committee, the investigative committee. And we all want to make the next move and make it in the best light possible in a winning manner. And for us to even to start the discussion on the investigative finding can jeopardize the end game. You know, I think it would just be prudent for us to start this discussion in executive session, and we can finish it in the public. But it wouldn't even show good faith on our part to move ahead without having at least some discussion in executive session in regards to what should we do given the findings that we have from the investigative committee and given the letter that we have from Metro Green. So I don't think it would be in our best interest to forecast what our next punch is going to look like. And that's the only thing that can come out of this meeting, you know, without us first going into the executive session to discuss strategy, legal strategy. That's
so then this meeting, which was established and called for us to put in place a stop work order, is that something that needs to be discussed in executive session, or can we continue moving on in that in reference to the council moving forward with those plans? Well, I call a special meeting for executive session.
I think the issue is that the meeting was called to discuss whether or not to go forward with the stop work order and the issue surrounding Metro Green. However, it sounded like recently, or maybe not recently, but at one point there was threat of litigation. I think Winston's back on. And so because there's threat of litigation, it's prudent to go into executive session. But Winston's back on, so I'll let him speak.
I apologize. I got an iPad, an iPhone, and a laptop working all at once, and everybody's betraying me tonight. So,
betraying me. Mr. City Attorney, I'll catch you up a second so that you'll know where we are. A motion was made to go into executive session for litigation. It was properly second. We were in the midst of moving forward for that opportunity. However, Ms. Cobble, Councilwoman Cobble had a question with regards to that opportunity moving forward. And then the discussion just kind of went round a robin from there. So the motion is still on the table. We're in the discussion phase of that particular motion.
So then, Attorney Denmark, we can go into executive session even though it was not advertised on the agenda?
No, yes, sir. You can always go into executive session. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So from that discussion point, and moving from there, Councilman D1 said aye. I was on D2 now.
Aye.
D3. District 3. District 3.
Sorry, I'm trying to unmute. Nay.
District 4.
Aye.
District 5. District 5.
Aye.
Mayor. Aye. Folks, we will adjourn for executive session for legal matters. Mr. Bell, take us to executive session